Listen up, guys. It's not nothing about nobody else right now. It's about us. It's our change. It's our time. Do your part. Everybody play a part today. Last year was last year. This shit over. Make your own identity. Make something different.
Yeah, I'm about to step in the ring for the fight of my life. Hit my knees and I strap on my gloves. Boy, I've been prepping since like I was.
All right, welcome to this week's edition of the Alvin Parker Coaches Show. I'm Sean Robertson. Great to have you with us on YouTube and also on VUU's athletic website. It is homecoming on campus. The electricity is in the air as the Panthers will look to continue their winning streak Saturday against Lincoln over at Hovey Stadium. I'm here with the head coach, Dr. Alvin Parker. Great to see you again.
I'm glad to be here.
Great to talk about another win that you guys had against Bowie State. Before we talk about that, I would be remiss, and I want to get your thoughts because one of the legends of the CIAA passed away last Friday. A legend in this Richmond area for high school football with the city schools. Coach Lou Anderson from Virginia State passed away last Friday at the age of 87. You went up against him as a player in the mid to late 90s. I just want to get your thoughts about Coach as a person and as a head coach and the battles you guys had against each other.
I just knew that he was a great coach, and everybody that played for him spoke extremely highly of him. I think most of the people around here knew him as just a high school legend for what he did here in the city. I knew him as the coach that had those teams down there that kicked butt at Virginia State. My first year in the CIAA was '95, and his team won the championship that year. So I kind of remember that just being a tough physical ball club, and they kind of took on the identity that he had. So, condolences to his family. I know he lived a good one, and just rest in peace.
He'll be sorely missed, no question about that. So we're gonna make the transition to Saturday's game against Bowie State. We had talked about it. Still a huge rivalry, even though Bowie is not maybe the Bowie of recent past. The struggles to win against them at home, it was since 2016, but you took it to them very early, first drive, right down the field, very methodical, setting the tone against them. And then when you had them down, you put the foot on their throat. It was like we're not letting up.
I still think they're a tough ball club. I just think our kids played extremely well on Saturday. When they came in the game, they had just been coming off of a loss, so we knew that they were doing that consecutive losses. So that was a little different than probably anybody in the conference has seen of a Bowie team. So, but our kids played extremely well, offensively, defensively, and special teams. I was talking to you in the weeks past about our team just putting together that complete game, as far as the whole team goes, not the offense kind of doing well, the defense kind of doing well, and the special teams doing okay. Just everybody kind of did their thing on Saturday. So I knew whenever we get it all together, we were going to have some good results.
And again, you did it in inclement weather. I mean, it was raining on and off for most of the day, but it seemed like this time it was like, forget the elements, forget about the opponent. We got our game plan, we got our focus, and we're gonna go at it.
It's like we don't expect anything else but rain on Saturdays, around these parts, as long as there ain't a tropical storm such and such.
Exactly.
But
exactly.
We played 6 ball games. I think maybe 2 of them didn't have rain. At some point, the first one, and Livingstone. You're correct.
Yeah.
So I think just the 2 didn't have any type of rain or weather. The rest of them have. So our kids really don't expect anything less. So when they came out there and it was drizzling, it was just like do do do. Normal day. Kind of one of those things, and those guys just responded. So
I was gonna say because the first drive, it was the touchdown pass. I mean, you kind of established the run, started with Allen, and then I want to say it was Reed that went over the top on the defense and threw the pretty pass into the end zone for the touchdown. I was like, whoa, in the rain, didn't matter. We saw the matchup that we could take advantage of, and definitely did that.
Yeah, we were able to kind of get it over top to Sidibe. He made a great catch. Christian made a great throw.
Yeah.
Everybody protected well, so it was a great football play. So but like I say, just as a whole, it was kind of fun to watch as a coach. Everybody kind of just get out there and just do their thing. So I was happy to see it.
14-3 at one point. Then Allen, I think, scored the touchdown to make it 21-3, and then it was 38 unanswered after the field goal by Bowie to make the final margin 52-3. You mentioned this. I guess this might have been the one game this year where every element came together. When you went back and looked at it, was like, what was there one moment or one play was like, oh, as in game time, it was like I missed it, but it was like it's a great play that kind of put everything together for what we were asking from the team to do.
I think it was not necessarily a play, but I think maybe more so a segment. You know,
Mm-hmm.
when we had those guys back and the defense was on the field, and it was right before halftime, and you know, the defense stopped them. The punt return team did a great job of getting us some favorable field position, and the offense went into like a 2 minute quick
Mm-hmm.
mode,
Mm-hmm.
and we scored right before halftime. I thought that whole segment of it just goes back to what I was talking about when I say offense, defense, special teams put it together for us to get that one right before halftime. I think that's something that kind of showed me a lot, showed me a lot about the team because some things that we kind of talked about in practice that we wanted in those type of segments, and we finally got it from all three segments on time and put it together, and we went into halftime up 28-3.
Went on to win their 6 out of 7 this year, still nationally ranked in
Mm-hmm.
the top 25. And we getting I don't want to look too far ahead, but there's that game at the end of the end of the season, November 4th. A lot of people around here circle that game, and if everything plays out, that could be for everything on November 4th when you play Virginia State.
We're looking at the game at the end of this week.
I
You know,
know,
I
I know.
don't. You know, it's tough to kind of look forward in this league. You know, kudos to those guys down the road. Though I think they're playing well as well, from what I see. But right now it's solely focusing on us. And then we just chopping away at it. And our goal is the end of this week.
Mm-hmm.
So as long as we have to do to the end of this week, when we get to that week, it'll be the end of that week. So
Yes.
just. But it's hard not to say we haven't heard anything about it or something like that. But we got to take care of business right now. Our only task at hand is Lincoln.
And how do you think the guys have dealt with or have handled the one game at a time mission? Let's just focus on that, not worry about the distractions and things of that nature, because that can easily derail a team at a certain point of the season.
If it's anything I learned last year from the 9-1 season is make sure you get the guys focused on it one week at a time. Because when you start to look a little bit down the road, you get to see some things that it's like a mirage in the desert.
Right.
So you want to make sure you just focus on what's at hand.
Right.
So that's one thing that I definitely learned from last year, and all the guys that were around from last year, I think they understood that as well. So they're passing it along to the new guys around here, and it's my job to pass it along to the entire program.
No question. We got plenty more to talk about with Coach Parker. In our final segment, we're going to talk about the most important game on the schedule this week. That is Lincoln for homecoming for a different reason. We'll let Coach talk about that. But up next, we got the Player Lounge segment. Full house again this week. So stay tuned. Meet the guys that will be talking about this past week's game against Bowie and homecoming against Lincoln on the Alvin Parker Coaches Show.
The styles you want, the brands you love, with the service you deserve. Better Menswear. From formal to casual wear, we carry quality men's clothing at sensible prices, where fashion and service meet affordability. That is Better Menswear.
Back here on the Alvin Parker Coaches Show. This is our Players Lounge segment, opportunity where we talk to guys on the team about what they do maybe off the field, their recap from the previous game, and look ahead to the big homecoming game this Saturday against Lincoln. I got 3 receivers that have all been in the end zone this year. We've got across from me, we got Saeed Sidibe, we got Nasir Morgan, and we also got Ricky Key. 3 guys that have played very, very well for Virginia Union this season. We're going to talk about what you guys have done on the field in just a minute, but we got to focus on Nasir because Coach Parker has got the shirt. You guys got the shirt. Now or never, and I heard you are the mind behind this. So tell me, how did this come about, and possibly some NIL opportunities for
Yeah.
this shirt.
Well, back home I go by the name of Flash. So,
Okay.
back during COVID, we were having like summer league basketball games, and I had made like a crazy play, made a dunk, and someone got it on camera, and I wound up putting it on a T-shirt, and I sold out like 2 days, 100 shirts, and I just came about the now or never, the slogan with the lightning bolt through it. Just everything that you plan on do it now, because you never know what can happen. It may not be, you might not have tomorrow, so everything is now or never. Like, don't do it at all.
That.
Yeah.
I like that. And it goes with the team.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
All right. So we're gonna let before we end our segment, let everybody know where they can get the T-shirt.
Yes, sir.
Everything like that, probably on your social media
Yeah.
platforms and everything.
Yeah.
We'll mention that before the end of that segment. But I want to get y'all guys' thoughts about the season as a whole, how you guys have played, especially from last week's win against Bowie State. We'll start with you, who made the great catch against Bowie on that first drive. To walk us through the play and how you were able to get behind the defense. You made a great adjustment and a dive in the end zone for that touchdown.
Coach Parker just called a play, and just ran my route, and I just scored a touchdown.
Straight go?
Just straight simple like that.
Okay. I mean, you've been doing pretty good because I've seen some big plays that you made this year, either with some slants and you've been able to use your speed or the straight go route. What has been your strength this year with the team?
Whatever to do, like to get the team a win. I don't want to do nothing else but just to win. Mm-hmm. That's it. Ain't no strength.
Is there, you had some couple of big plays as well, what you're doing on the field. How would you assess your play this year for Union?
I'm a transfer, so I'm new here. Mm-hmm. So just getting to play in this environment with these players, with this coaching staff, it's amazing. Mm-hmm. They give me the opportunity to go make plays and I make it happen.
What made you decide to transfer from your previous school to Union?
The little running back that we got, little short,
short
guy. Yeah, Jada Bite. That's my like one of my best friends from back home.
Okay.
So had got into a little situation at my old school where as though I had to make a decision, and Coach Parker gave me a call. He gave me a call on Monday and asked me, can I be in Virginia by Friday? I packed my house up and I moved to Virginia.
Really?
And it's been amazing ever since.
So Jada kind of got the ball rolling.
Yeah,
and then Coach slammed the door.
Yeah, basically, yes.
I got you. Ricky, you've made some plays as well this season. How do you think you've done so far this year?
I think I've done what I could do to help the team out, to help them win. I just did my best. Whatever Coach Parker says goes. So whenever he calls, I execute it. So yeah.
How big is homecoming for you guys? Normally, I know the coaches say try to stay away from the distractions leading up to the game. Has that been a challenge to kind of get away from the homecoming activities because everybody's gonna come and see you guys on Saturday? How do you handle homecoming week?
We handle it good, but we ain't focused on homecoming. We just focus on Lincoln. That's it.
Okay. Was it?
I'm new. Like I said, so everything is new. I come from like PWI, so being at a HBCU is like everything that's going on is just something like an eye opener to me. So I mean, everything is focused on football right now. Like after the game, so I have my focus after the game and during the week.
There you go, guys. Yeah. Your teammates are keeping you focused.
Yeah, definitely.
I got you. Ricky, same thing with you.
My main focus is on football. I just concentrate on football until after we get the W, and then that's when I can have fun with homecoming.
Let me ask you this, especially for you, Ricky, and for Sidibe, because you had transferred.
Yeah.
You guys were part of last year's group, I recall correctly.
Yes, sir.
How much has maybe that game against Juwan kind of getting them out, especially in a week where it can be very, very distracting? You can be pulled many different ways. How much has maybe that been talked about to say, hey, our focus is solely on Lincoln, nothing else until that game is over with? Has any of the guys or the coaches have said kind of lean towards, hey, let's remember what we did against Juwan leading up to the game, and let's kind of make a couple of adjustments and let's just have it focused on that?
We know what happened last year, but like that happened last year. We ain't focused on that. We worry about what happened this year. You think about what happened last year, it's gonna make sure what's in front of you right now. Okay. So we just think about what's going on right now.
Gotcha.
We try not to focus on what happened in the past because it's the past. You can't change it. It already happened. We just focus on what we're going to do in the future, what we can do to be a successful football team.
Enough said. I like the answers. Well, guys, I appreciate the time. Thank you for joining us here on the Players Lounge segment of the Coaches Show. We wish you the best of luck at our homecoming and hope you get to celebrate. Enjoy a little bit of the homecoming afterwards. Real quick before we go, let everybody know where they can get the shirts.
You can find the shirt on my Instagram. I am Flash1 with 2 H's. Clothing page is Noun Clothing 1 on all platforms.
Okay.
Everything is there, pretty much simply placed in ready to
And
order.
you take care of them.
Same day shipping and everything, so we good money.
Sounds like an NIL deal.
Wow, let's
We'll
get.
get a lot of people from Union to get them shirts.
Yes,
Hopefully they
sir.
can be wearing them for homecoming
Yeah,
at the game.
that's the plan.
There you
That's the
go.
plan.
There you
So,
go.
man,
Well, again, guys, good luck to you guys Saturday. Hopefully, results of the victory against Lincoln on Saturday.
thank you.
Appreciate you.
All right, we come back with one more segment. We got Coach Parker talking about the game on Saturday against Lincoln. That's next on the Alvin Parker Coaches Show.
Football is more than a game. It's a legacy built by trailblazers who paved the way for the next generation. I remember the doubters, but I refuse to let anyone define my limits. To the game changers who came before us and to the ones who are yet to step into the field, keep pushing boundaries, keep breaking records, and keep leaving your mark.
Back for our final segment on the Alvin Parker Coaches Show. We got the coach back talking about Saturday's homecoming against Lincoln. Against Lincoln. I was about to say somebody else, but it's against Lincoln. Get my teams mixed up. I think you have mentioned it. I know other coaches have mentioned how homecoming can be the most challenging game to prepare the team for, given the distractions. Based on what I've heard with the players and even with you, it seemed like that will not be an issue this week for the guys.
It's our job to make sure we eliminate those distractions. They're always going to be here for homecoming, just because it's homecoming.
Mm-hmm.
So every day is something. Every day is something going on. A lot of people coming back. So it's a lot going on for homecoming. So some of it is tough to avoid, but it's our job as a coaching staff, and it's their job as players to kind of follow the stuff we put in place, so we can try to navigate our way through the week and kind of keep them focused on the game.
And I'm assuming for you, being a former player, being an alum of Virginia Union, it's more important for you to kind of get those guys to buy into what you're saying, given the fact you've dealt with this as a player and also as a coach here at Union.
Yep, it's it doesn't change.
Mm-hmm.
Every year, I've coached. No matter where I've been, homecoming is what it is on the HBCU campus. So you got to make sure you work a little extra harder that week, have a plan to keep those guys focused up, because again, they're college students. You want them to enjoy their time and get some of it back, but you want to make sure they understand the task at hand as well.
Now, this is a different Lincoln team than the teams in the past that maybe those who follow the conference know about. Team that was struggling, maybe didn't win more than 2 games. I think they got 4 this year. Got some big wins, some surprising wins in the conference. What stands out about this Lincoln Lions team this year?
I think they play extremely hard. That's one thing that you can look at this team and see they play hard. And they're trending in the right direction. They won their last 3 games, and they've gotten better every single year. I think, and that's what you can ask for. As any type of program, you want to see yourself get better every year, and they've gotten better every year. And this year they come to the game with a winning record, so they're 4-3 right now, and they're right, sitting in that middle part of the division right behind us. So we got to come there and play our best game, because I think those guys are going to come down here and play their best.
Stronger with the run, because I know that's your baby as far as run defense.
They some people that might stick out. Of course it's hard to mention their team without mentioning their quarterback.
Yeah.
He's a heck of a player. He's probably gonna be one of the best we've seen all season. And they have a few guys on defense that kind of run around to the ball, that do some good things. But they have some guys on offense that play extremely amazing. A couple receivers that make a bunch of big plays. A back there that can hit it pretty good. So. Like I said, we got to come in with our A game and make sure we're ready to go.
I was gonna say last year's game was tough when you went up there. I think it was at one point it was like a 7-10 point game before y'all kind of pulled away.
It was a little close. I think we ended up, of course, winning by a few touchdowns and pulling away late. But them guys, like I said, they played a great game, had a great game plan, and did some good things. And I think they're well coached, and they play hard. So you can't really ask for much else. So like I said, we got to be ready Saturday, and I think our guys will be.
Before we let you go, the one key that the fans should be paying attention to for Saturday's game for you guys to get a win.
So,
or is there one specific key?
It's probably a little more than one. I think we just got to make sure that we kind of did what we asked those guys to do last week. Just come in and try to dominate all 3 phases. I know that's kind of easier said than done, but just try to make sure we dominate all 3 phases. And like I've always said, as long as we're playing Panther football, it's gonna be tough for anybody to beat us.
And there's expecting to be sunny skies, very few clouds. Be the first time in a while you got to have a clear field, clean track, Should be hopefully some fireworks for you guys Saturday against Lincoln.
We would like that.
1 o'clock kickoff at Hovey Stadium. It is homecoming for Virginia Union versus Lincoln. I believe that game is on the CIAA Sports Network. So if you can't make it to Hovey for whatever reason, if you can't, shame on you. Check it out on the CIAA Sports Network to see Union and Lincoln, to see if the Panthers continue their winning ways against the Lions Saturday afternoon. Coach, good luck to you on Saturday. We'll be back next week to talk about that game and then talk about Bluefield State, your final road game of the season. Knock on wood, not talking about the neutral game in November for CIAA title.
Appreciate it.
We can look ahead. I know you can't look ahead. We'll have Coach Parker back next week along with more players in our Players Lounge segment. Hopefully we have you to join us on YouTube and also on the VUU Athletics website. For the coach and the players, I'm Sean Robertson. Thanks for joining us, and we'll talk to you next week on the Alvin Parker Coaching Show.
I'm already covered in blood, walking in love. This for the ones who've been stuck in the mud, searching for hope. Trust me, I know what it feel like to drown on my problems, but God came and threw me the rope. Can't wait to look in his eyes. All of my life I've been battling lies. I found the truth and took off my disguise. Come for my head, I still live for the prize. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I was in the city going down, trying to blow. Everything changed when I learned to let it go.